Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I see we still have some people still signing up. Today's webinar will be data migration, broken links, and lost data. Learn how to protect your links during a data migration to SharePoint, the cloud, OpenText, new servers, or file structures. Presentation is to begin at 2 p.m. as promised, so here we go. Now, just to get started, I'd like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Paul Kuva. I am the Executive Vice President here at LinkTek. I will be commenting and emceeing throughout the course of the webinar. If by chance you need my help now or in the future, you're always welcome to reach out. I could spin up resources pretty quickly around these parts. My company is LinkTek. Find and fix broken links in millions of files quickly and easily and automatically. Today, Mr. Oscar Albornoz, the Jason Bourne of Broken Links, will be presenting. Oscar's been with LinkTek for about 19 years now, and he is he's seen about as much as one can see in the area of broken links, that's for sure. And Mr. Aaron Smith, our Vice President for Technology, will be answering chat questions. So look at your, in your chat and your questions and ask away. Aaron is ready to respond to you. Aaron has been with LinkTek since, for at least 19 years as well. So you have wonderful resources there.
Yeah, just type those questions in, folks. There's a, it's not a spoken chat, it's a typed chat.
Yep, and we'll have an opportunity later in the webinar to field questions. And anybody who writes a question in, if we don't, because we typically get a lot of questions, if we do not have time to answer all of your questions, which we typically do not, we will answer a few, and then we'll get back to you on a one-on-one basis with answers to your questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, LinkTek, we provide protection when it comes to your data and your links during migrations. And I'd like to introduce today's host, Mr. John Harryluke. John, I know John I've known John for quite some time now. He is a, very well-known speaker. He has spoken in a variety of technology venues throughout the country, notably at Salesforce, Dreamforce in San Francisco. I could remember back when we did some private breakout sessions at, I think it was Cloudforce in New York with John, and I believe the gentleman's name, John, was he was like the CTO or the first CIO appointed by Barack Obama.
Mr. Kundra. Mr. Kundra was his name.
Vivek
Kundra, yeah.
And we had a nice time there listening to him. And I know John has tremendous insights working for some of the best Fortune companies around, notably Oppenheimer, Coach, where he did, he served in IT for a while. And he is a former volunteer firefighter, so he's not just Mr. Sit in a cubicle. He can get a little gritty. And I've seen him on some philanthropic lines as well, which are quite notable and commendable. So
Paul, you don't want to date yourself, though.
That's right. That's right.
We don't just don't say any dates.
That's right. I'm not giving any dates. That's for sure. So that's just a general overview of the people that are joining us today. And John, I'd like to turn the floor over to you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, guys. So I came across LinkTek a couple of years back when doing some due diligence of looking for various types of tools and utilities to help me in some of my former positions and engagements, for that matter. And I've been in such roles where I was on the hook, so to speak, to manage data migrations and file moves and such. Some companies large, some companies small. And during these times, which usually were very stressful times, I have to say, I've sought ways to make such transitions smooth. And what I really like about the Link Fixer Advanced utility is that it's simplicity. And you're going to see that today, right? So there's going to be no scripting, no command line file moves, nothing of the nature that may allow your IT people to put themselves at risk. And I think, my thoughtful nature of wanting to get people to learn and understand how this particular utility could help them is going to be shown here momentarily. And you'll see how simple it is for this tool to run to allow and help you move files from server to server or server to data center, server to cloud. And I just want you to see how easy and simple this is, and Oscar will be able to demonstrate this for you right now.
Excellent, cool. Excellent. Paul, do you want to give me sharing capabilities?
There you go.
All right, can you guys see my screen okay?
I can.
Yeah.
Excellent. So folks, what you have here is a welcome screen. This is a welcome screen for LinkFixer Advanced, and I have a few terms here that I want to go over because the whole presentation kind of centers around these terms, and that's parent file and child file. And the parent file is defined as the file that contains one or more links that point to some other file or files. And then you have the child file, which is defined as the file that is pointed to by a link in a parent file. So of course you have the link, which is the information. It's that pointer that points to the child file that makes whatever the child file content display on your parent file. So kind of wanted to go over these couple of terms here. Now, LinkFixer Advanced is very, very simple, as John explained. I'm going to go ahead and click the Start button here, and the whole product really just has 6 simple functions. They're very, very powerful. I mean, this is enterprise-wide tool, but it's really just 6 functions that I'm going to be showing you or we're talking about. And the first one is Inoculate, and you'll see an ejection here, which it's a graphic kind of showing you that what we're going to do is inject. We're going to inject a link ID into all your links. And we're going to prepare all your files so that when you actually migrate them from point A to point B, the links will, even though they'll break, you'll be able to run something called cure to fix everything automatically. And I'll show you how all that works. So again, Inoculate's your preparation step. You're going to run this. You're going to use Inoculate so that you can process all your files before you do your migration. And that's what I'm about to show you. Go ahead and click Inoculate here. So as you can see, this is very simple. It's going to go from left to right. It's just like a wizard. The first thing we'll do is select folders. This is exactly what we're about to move. So what you do here,
if I can ask a question about that. So
go ahead.
So we're talking about, thanks. So we're talking about what you do before you move your files, right? This is correct. Pre-migration preparation.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, for your links.
Yes.
You're inoculating them against breaking.
That's right. So what happens is before your migration, what I've come across with, folks do their entire migration, from point A to point B, which could take days, sometimes weeks, and then what happens is they're done with the migration, and suddenly users are missing data. They click on links, and links don't point to anything. So what we've done, we've made it a way to prepare. It's basically kind of a protection function, and it protects all your files. It just go ahead and analyzes all your files and protects all your links so that when you do your migration, whatever that is, to a different server, to a cloud, or even a file restructure, you can actually recover all these links. And that's what I'm about to do. I'm just going to select files that I want to be migrating somewhere else.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, LinkFixer Advanced comes with sample files. I'm going to open up those here, and it's very nice. It's some sample files of the basically the most popular file types that you can just rename, move, restructure, just put them anywhere you want, whether that's a different server or SharePoint, and then you can easily just restore them after you do that. And that'll get you familiar with LinkFixer Advanced. But again, I'm going to show you how that works. It's very, very simple. What I'll do, I'm going to select a folder with Word files and a folder with Excel files. Next. So I'm going to process all the files in these selected folders. Now, I have other functions here. Yeah, go ahead. John.
I saw you only chose the 2 directories with those files in there. How many files, or what sort of files other than those 2 could you potentially be able to inoculate and move?
Thanks, John. That's a great question. If I click on this other radio button, you'll notice that these are the file types that we can handle. You'll see under Microsoft Office, I mean, these are all the popular stuff, you know, this Access, Excel, OneNote, PowerPoint. I mean, this is all the stuff, you know, your financial data, your HR documents, we can handle all those, you know. Also, that you have Adobe, you know, we can handle your PDFs as well. Even though normally you can't edit PDFs, we'll be able to handle those as well. Web, you know, the most popular stuff in web, and then even in the engineering fields, we can handle the AutoCAD and the MicroStation files as well. I'm going to keep it here on the first file and the first radio button just to process everything in there. But did I answer your question, John?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Same thing for links, guys. So these are going to be your child files. So I can actually filter out those as well. But I'm going to keep it here for processing all files. Now, preview is very cool. Preview is going to show me exactly what LinkFixer Advanced is about to do. You'll see some yellow here, and this is an additional function that LinkFixer is about to do while inoculating, while protecting, and that is I've made LinkFixer to save the full absolute path for every link. So anything that was relative is going to be changed to absolute. You don't have to do that. I just I selected that setting so that you can see that LinkFixer can do it, no problem.
That makes sense. That can really be helpful for certain things, you know, to be able to control whether those links are relative to the parent file or just absolute. So no matter where that, you know, where that parent file goes, it still points to that child file, right? So if you move like a parent file, that absolute link alone, even that can help prevent links from breaking, right?
No doubt,
Plus,
man.
you can
Exactly.
also see better where they're really pointing because you don't have to figure out what every relative path means.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Good point.
These are additional benefits that just help remove problems and kind of insecurities, you know, concerns when you're migrating. And I know having done, like I'm not a migration guy, but doing stuff like this, the more you can know beforehand, right? The more confidence you can have that you really know everything. It just feels so much better.
For sure. And then now that you mentioned that, it's funny. I mean, most network administrators and an IT professional I've dealt with in the past, you know, they really don't know what they're dealing with. You know, they have tons, thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of files that they're going to be migrating. God knows what's in there, you know. So something like this gives you a nice preview, just gives it some security, you know, what's about to do, where are these files coming from, before you actually hit the run button, you know. It's just very nice, very, very nice.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, so I'm gonna click the run here. I'm going to be processing files. LinkFixer Advanced is actually multi-threading right now, which is very, very nice. I mean, I'm processing multiple files at the same time. In fact, you can see that in 9 seconds, I just processed 48 files. 48 files, you know, at least what? Let's look here in the actual details. We got 40 files that were actually inoculated, 65 links total in those files, and everything was done under 9 seconds. You know.
Yeah, awesome.
So very, very cool. Now, everything we do in LinkFixer Advanced gets documented. You know, we create very, very detailed CSVs of everything we just did, and then nice summaries as well. I'm going to click on this PDF and do this summary so you can show you in a PDF form what we just did. And this is some of the details, that just highlights of what just happened. But I wanted to show you this here, which is the actual files. These are the files and links we just processed. You'll notice, you know, you have a parent file up here, then you have a link, and then we have a link ID assignment, which is exactly what this is. This is the meat and potatoes. This is what LinkFixer Advanced does. It assigns a link ID for every single link it encounters. And this is the protection. This is what we're doing right now. This is the pre-processing for your migration. So I'm going to go ahead and close this PDF here. And what I'll do, I'm going to do a quick migration, guys. But before that, let's open up that Word file. I'm just going to open up one Word file here and show you, you know, some of the stuff we're processing. Here's one. All right, so you'll notice this is a Word file with, it's got a nice logo up here of LinkFixer Advanced. It's got some links. They work just fine. Let's click on one. And that opens up this file, no problem. Okay, so these are working links. So what I'll do, I'm going to go back to my Windows Explorer here, and I'm going to do a quick migration. I'm going to select the Word sample files. Let's do that again. Word files, sample files, and Excel sample files. So I'm going to hit Control X for cut. So I'm going to completely remove them from this directory, which is just a directory in my C drive. And I'm going to go into my server here. And let's go up here. Let's go to the T drive.
Now you mentioned your C drive, and I thought made me think about where can these files be? Like what sources and like destination types can we support?
Excellent
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Excellent question. Again, this is just my sample files. It's just to show you,
Yeah.
an overview of LinkFixer Advanced. But hey, files can be located anywhere. What you need to make sure is that you have access to your files. But as long as these files can be in a server, they can be in a cloud. Actually, Office 365, no problem. They can be in the cloud. We've made LinkFixer Advanced so you can actually browse in your cloud and select files as well.
SharePoint, Word docs, and Excel spreadsheets are going these days, right?
Exactly. Oh, we've made that possible for sure. On-prem, online, no problem.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and make a folder here called demo, and I'm going to call that demo 105 here. Let's go ahead and open that. Cool. And I'm going to paste the Word sample files and the Excel sample files. So what did I just do? I just did a simple migration. I just went from my C drive onto the T drive, which is just somewhere in the server. Now, what do you think happened to that one file I just showed you that had the working links?
Right, that image you said on the top and the hyperlink.
Right. So let's go ahead and open it up here, and should have a bunch of stuff broken. And let's see, and voila,
okay.
or not voila. It's broken right now. I just did a migration. My image is completely gone. If I hover over this link, it's still pointing to my C drive, so it's just not going to work. If I click on it,
fantastic.
It just
totally
won't work. So that's it's a migration. This is what happens. It's funny, but this is what happens in real life. Imagine they move these thousands of files to somewhere else. They finish their migration, and then users come in the next day, and then they click on their links, and then it doesn't work. And that's what we're encountering.
And you look at the file, and you can't tell, right? You look at these files, you don't know which ones have problems.
It's just fine. Everything made it through. Woo, it's done.
So you open 10 million of them, like 6 terabytes of them, and you find which ones have problems, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So check this out. This is super hot. So easy. I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to click on Cure. And what Cure is going to do is going to fix your inoculated links automatically. That's it. That's the simplicity of it. It's super simple. What you need to do is just point LinkFixer to your new location, to the destination of your files. So I'm going to go into that T drive, and let's find demo 105 and click it. If I expand it, you'll see that that's just the Excel and the Word files I went through. And I can either jump all the way to process files, so I can go through these again. I can make some filters. I'm not. I'm just going to keep it, in the defaults. Preview is going to be very cool now, because Preview is about to show me what it's going to do to fix all those links. So it's just going to take a few seconds. It's going through and it's simulating exactly what LinkFixer Advanced is about to do. Very, very cool. Very cool stuff.
Yes, you really know. You have precision across all these files with the preview, right?
Yeah.
Like you can really see exactly what it's going to do in a way that just saves you, tens of thousands of hours of time that you don't have.
That's right.
I don't know.
Now, this is great. If you're doing a filter, for example, and you maybe messed up, preview is super important. This is about to tell you what it's going to do. And if you made a filter that you don't want, you can always backtrack from here and fix your filters and then go back.
Yeah.
It's just very nice. So I'm going to go to process files now, and let's process those. Launches the motors, it sends out the agents, processes multiple files. It does a quick scan first, make sure everything's still good, make sure there's some link IDs in it that it can work with. And then boom, it just cures and fixes all my files. Now I'm going to show you the summary of exactly what it did, and then I want to show you the evidence. I'm going to actually open up that one file. So let's quickly go to the summary here.
Too. And then it's over.
That's it. That's really it. Now, of course, we're processing 48 files, and still,
it started right up and just started getting done. You know what I mean?
But still, do 48 files manually. See how long that takes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
do 65 links one at a time manually. You know, it's just crazy. Now look at these are the details. Links cured in parent files. The T drive, that's the parent file. The old link used to point to my C drive. The new link is my T drive. And that's what it did. You know, very, very simple, completely
Hey,
fully
Oscar,
automated. Yeah, go ahead, John.
are you guys open to make changes or considerations to add other sorts of files that maybe you don't have listed currently in your
Always.
compiled app? Yeah.
Absolutely, always, always. We're always open for new suggestions, new ideas. You know, I have a large team of full-time programmers, you know, just there, ready for ideas and things, you know, to do for you folks. So absolutely, thanks, John. Absolutely. Now, in fact, I'm going to go. Well, let me show you. Let me just show you that evidence real quick before I forget. Let's open up that LFA intro.doc that I had open before, and drum roll. And that's it. You know, your image is back. If I hover over that one link, you know, now it's
different now.
pointing to
Yeah.
the T drive. Yep. If I click on the link, it opens up the file just fine. That's the magic of LinkTek for Advanced. It's just
Amazing.
simple. It's just easy. It's easy stuff, you know. And that's not getting cure. And folks, this is something that you won't find anywhere else. I'm serious. I mean, Paul, this is completely patent technology, isn't it?
Yeah, I would like to highlight that the Inoculate and cure process are patented technologies, and good luck getting a software patent. It's an enormously hard process, and it's an enormously long process. And boy, you know, LinkTek has been doing this for 19 years now, and we have had thousands of clients from small shops and to many, 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 I think, you know, fortune-sized clients. We have learned
governments,
governments, and we have learned by, you know, we probably get, you know, I would say 2 to 3 calls a week from panicked IT personnel that have done a migration that's gone sideways. Oscar, you think that's a fair estimation? Like 2 or 3?
I think it's short.
I think it's a lot. I think that's more like a daily
a
number.
More.
Yeah, it's conservative.
I've seen it in the double digits, man.
It's kind of conservative.
Those are the guys that are having maybe a disaster. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like sideways migration that they're going to lose their job or something.
Been there, done that.
Yes. And they're like, what do we do? And I said, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our tool to simply report on what the status is. You know, we have a reporting feature that's amazing. And then I would say, well, how did this occur? Like, why wasn't this handled, you know, like a good pre-migration strategy? Oftentimes link integrity is overlooked. And then someone will come up with a bright idea like, oh, well, John in programming decided he was going to write a script for it, and the script doesn't work.
Yeah, 19 years.
I'll
6
pass.
Johns spent 19 years working on it, right?
Literally, 19 years of and thousands of clients with aggregate experience working on it, and then you have to write a script for every single file type.
Right.
Good. And then test it, make sure it works, and good luck. And that's the magic of LinkFixer, is that it's simple, it's an easy interface, and our customer support here is, in my estimation, second to none. I mean, we have very senior resources dedicated to any clients that call in, and we actually just basically will walk them through installation if they need it. It is quite simple, and then actually getting the show on the road, we will help out. So it's kind of cool. But Oscar, I did want you to ask. I wanted to ask you and to explain to our audience that's with us today how we work with SharePoint as well, because oftentimes a lot of folks are in the SharePoint arena, and you may want to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. So we've made it possible to process. I mean, back in the day, we were processing, you know, SharePoint on premise, but we've actually made it possible now to process SharePoint 365. That's SharePoint Online. You can actually browse. We've made it a way so that you go up here to the hamburger, you can actually add network locations. One of them being SharePoint Online. I can go to SharePoint and actually enter my credentials, and now it's connected. I can browse SharePoint, you know, collection sites and actually
that's a very good
select
point. Yes.
folders. I can
So,
actually select full sites and process those.
So providing you have access to it, right? You would have to be
exactly.
an admin. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Thank you, John. That's for sure. I mean, the one thing you do have to make sure with
stuff.
LinkFixer, yeah, it's admin rights. You at least have to have write access to all those files.
And
But,
Oscar, if I can interject a relevant question from the chat, like this is a great spot for it. What about SharePoint to SharePoint? Right?
SharePoint to SharePoint,
Guys
no
already
problem.
in SharePoint, whether it's on-prem or not, but like SharePoint from one SharePoint site to another site.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. In fact, let me show you this very cool thing.
Donnie. Thanks, Donnie.
Okay, I'm going to go to Inoculate here, and I'm going to minimize my desktop now, and I'm going to open up my computer. Actually, let's see if I can open up. Actually, down here, I already did it in a previous demonstration. You'll see SharePoint is one of my nodes that I can actually browse. If I click that, this is one of our SharePoint site collections. I click that. This is our team site at LinkTek, and I can keep going. And check this out. This is stuff online. These are my files online that I can actually go in and process as well. These are my shared documents that I would be able to go in and inoculate and then move them to somewhere else and cure them as well. Just like if they were in your local, Windows Explorer, your local T drive. This is stuff in SharePoint, and I can actually process these just as if they were locally.
That's really cool. Oscar, what would happen? I'd like you, I mean, I know, but I'd like you to explain to our audience today, what happens if somebody has done the migration and it's train wrecked and there's all broken links? Now, what do they do?
Great question, Paul, because I just went over the stuff, from square zero. You're about to do a migration. You want to do the preparation, which is inoculate, then you do your migration, then you do your cure. But you're right. What happens if you've already done it? Well, you're in luck. We can still help you. That will be modify links, and this is down here. You'll see that it actually just says fix links that are already broken and makes whatever changes you want to any number of links. So what do you do in this case? You go into modify links, and you'll find the same type of left or right wizard. Very, very simple stuff. In this case, though, what you need to do is a rule. And what you'll do is you'll go into the create rules area and then make one, and just simply say what did it used to be and what it should be now. For example, it used to be the T drive, anything in the T drive, or if it's something little in, then you'll just have to do is just type in your folders or simply just browse for them. You don't have to type. I'm just a typer. But you can browse and say what it used to be, where was my data beforehand? And then you say, where is it now? Whether that is a different drive letter or even SharePoint. I could just go simply browse, just like I showed you, or HTTP, and then just put the location of your new SharePoint site collection, and everything will be changed. LinkFixer is going to go and multi-thread and fix lots of files in one run and fix everything that's already broken, so it points to the new location.
That's pretty cool. And
Nice.
could you also speak to 365?
Yes, Office 365. So that's your Word online, your Excel online, and your SharePoint as well. That's something that we added a couple of versions back, and we didn't used to do it. It was all on-prem, but yeah, this is what we can do now. Is browsing Office 365.
That's fantastic, Oscar. And I have to tell you, there's so much to talk about, and we don't have an unlimited amount of time. But I would like to just ask some feedback with a poll from our guests. I'll only leave it on for I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. If you'd be so kind to take a look at that. And if you'd like any pricing information, we're glad to send it to you on our software. If you'd like a product information sheet, we could send it. If you'd like a recording of today's webinar, we're still going to take questions after the poll. And if you'd like to schedule a live private demo or all the above, we're glad to get in communication with you. And all you need to do is just select one of those things on the poll. I'll leave it up for another minute or so, just another couple seconds actually, because often someone says, "Well, I have a small shop. I'm working in an accounting office or a law firm. It's got 100 people or 200 people, or hey, I need fortune size pricing. I need global pricing for 20,000 employees. So we can accommodate all of the above. And often some folks would like a copy of the recording of the webinar so they could show it to their team. And we do have, they usually love that at their leisure. Maybe several different people need to vet it. And we also offer a private one-on-one demonstration for yourself or your team as it speaks to your business case and what would best help. Okay, thank you for everybody. I'm going to close the poll right now. Oh, I know people were still
Paul,
responding.
that poll was fantastic for me because I'm trying to keep up with the questions in the live chat.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I know.
Listen to what's going on, and yeah. So
I know
great.
there's a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I know people were still responding, but we can't leave it on forever. And all you'd have to do is, like, I know you could find me on LinkedIn, you could find Oscar on LinkedIn, or you can just call LinkTek and we'll be able to help you. But I wanted to give an opportunity for some questions that you have, Aaron, from some of our guests.
Thanks. Good. I have to pick some of these. We've got one from Tom, and this is a good one. Sometimes the questions come in and then they get answered, right? But this one didn't get answered, and it's a good one. What about file modification dates, Oscar? Because you're inoculating those files, but I know, and Tom knows, and everybody here knows that modification dates of files, if you run terabytes of files and suddenly they say they were last changed today, that's its own kind of nightmare.
That's right. Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes,
what
it is.
does LinkFixer do?
Well, due to a lot of complaints and popular demand, as you mentioned, it's a huge thing for our network guys. We actually don't touch them. We don't modify your date stamps. We don't even modify your last user
That's
mod.
what I was thinking about when you said that.
On each file. Definitely, we don't do it. We don't do it in on-prem. We don't do it online. We leave your last modified date on your file. That's very important for network guys, and we respect
integrity
for sure. Absolutely.
So it's reliable. People know that after they inoculate their files and even cure them, their modification dates are going to be the same as before they ran LinkFixer, right?
That's correct.
And the user who changed them too. That wasn't in the question user thing, but that was immediately what I thought of. There is a question. This one's for me. It kind of ties into John had asked earlier about file types, and he talked a little bit about file quantities too, but he really focused on types. I was wondering about size, job size, number of files, and
volume.
What kind of volume are we talking about that people are running LinkFixer on?
It's great. That's a really good question. It varies a lot. Let me just tell you right now off the bat, there's no limitation. We have no limitation whatsoever when running files. I've personally seen not just hundreds of thousands of files. I've seen sites with millions, 2.3 million files. That's not uncommon, for these bigger folks, There's no limitation. You can actually run it all in one run. If you're crazy enough to let this run for a few weeks, you can do it. When you're doing a migration, I never suggest that, and I always say, hey man, do it in chunks. There's so much going on, and outside your server, things that can happen. Acts of God. Who knows? That could actually break something, but. Other than that, there's no limitation. LinkFixer will just work. It'll just work.
Fantastic.
And run. And you can run
I'd like to throw in a comment there. I so agree on that, and I've seen it for quite some time now that it functions like that. But one of the things that I found that the IT teams do value is that often they may not have one per se holy grail migration where everything is done, but it will be done in fragmented areas like, we're gonna
slices, right?
Yeah,
Stages.
we're gonna do Houston, the Houston office this week. We're gonna do the finance division, and they have, or we're gonna do the the legal office in LA, and we're gonna handle that, and whatever it is, especially at the Fortune level, they're not doing a huge holy grail migration often, but they'll do it in chunks, in responsible chunks, and it becomes LinkFixer Advanced becomes a wonderful utility to have a pre-migration link management strategy when it comes to preserving links and knowing that's happened, or knowing that data integrity is going to be in. And then if by chance somebody on the team does do a migration which goes sideways, which in migrations, you know that happens, this program, LinkFixer Advanced, will mop it up. It will create a, it'll straighten everything out, and it's quite easy. And you have a team here to back you up too, which is kind of cool.
Thanks, Paul. That's a comprehensive answer. I have a question from Sue. Do I have to have all the programs installed on my server? You run this on your server usually, right? A server. You can run in different places, but do I have to have the programs installed on my server, like Microsoft Office, etc.?
Right.
And that is, I don't know. It's a great question.
That's a no. That's
Good.
an absolutely not. That's an absolutely
Good.
not. No, you don't have to do this. Lots of folks run LinkFixer Advanced from their server. You don't have to have their programs installed. InDesign is an exception, I think, because the Adobe guys made it really hard. So the InDesign, for the design folks, you do have to have InDesign installed. But other than that, you don't have to have anything. We actually access files. We call it direct file access, the nerdy way. That just means we don't use any of the programs to open up those files. We just open them up and fix them, close them back up, leave those date stamps unmodified, and we move on.
That means you're also not stuck to the speed of some other application as well.
That's
and
right.
Its reliability, right? So it could be slow, it could be crashy, and you don't have to deal with that. You get to bypass that, and you control your own destiny as far as the thing being stable and fast.
Yep. Exactly.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Sorry about the questions. Any questions that I don't answer here, I'm answering in chat directly. So, but I just got to pick some. Let's see. Good. Okay, this is a good one, and this ties into something. That's a good question. This is from Eli. This is from something Paul said earlier too. I mean, it ties into that. What if we already moved our files? We already migrated our files, but now things are broken. Like they moved, they didn't know there was a solution, and that's what it sounds like to me. And now their links are broken. What about that?
Yeah, I believe Paula asked that just a few minutes ago. That was modify links. So just remember, folks, if you've already done your migration, we're still good. Just go to modify links. We can show you. We can actually do a one-on-one with you and even help you. We can hold your hand on writing some of those rules. They're very simple. All you need to do is just tell LinkFixer where your stuff used to be and where is it now, and
that's right.
Work. Everything will get fixed.
Hey, and so that means there's hope for folks that are stuck in a bad situation right now.
Yeah, for sure.
They call, right? They don't have to worry about it. They're not up that creek. They're okay, and we can still fix them. Good.
That's correct.
Yeah, I have to say it is truly amazing the amount of links that can be fixed and the file types that can be mitigated with our system. It's absolutely incredible. I do want to let everybody know that we have to kind of take the last question, Aaron, because we have a time constraint, and I just want to keep us on point here. So maybe one more question.
Okay. Final choice, I guess. This Paul is from Paul, not our Paul, but another Paul. So if I inoculate, are my links never going to break? And I would add to that, okay, so what does that really mean? How does it work? When does our magic happen?
Yes.
Thanks, Paul. The other Paul.
So the answer to that is, yeah, they will break. They actually will break. Inoculation is a preparation step for LinkFixer to be able to cure your files afterwards. You have to run Inoculate beforehand, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to break. They will break when you move them somewhere else, but that's when cure comes in. All you need to do then is point LinkFixer to your files that have broken links, and then you hit cure. Fully automated, just going to go in, no rules required, and everything will get fixed for you. But to answer your question, yeah, they definitely will break.
Yeah, which you showed earlier, and that's probably when this question first came in from Paul. But seemed like a good one, because I mean it also underscores the point that if you inoculated and then moved your files, you have time. You just run LinkFixer again when it works for you in your migration, and it'll fix those things. They don't start getting worse once that move happens. It doesn't start a clock, right? It removes all that kind of pressure.
That's right.
Kind of the impression that I get. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So Paul. Thanks, Paul, and over to Paul.
Good point. Okay, so I do want to thank you, Aaron, for getting all those questions. I want to let every single person know that when I know we've got a lot of questions here, and Aaron didn't address every one of them, but I will let you know that all of your questions will be answered in an email or a phone call, whatever you need. Where we will do that. I want to just take back the screen, Oscar, if you're all wrapped.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, okay, just give me a second there.
And I'll just keep answering questions. The questions keep coming in, and I really appreciate everybody sending them in, and I'll keep doing that.
John, John, we appreciate you being here with us today and enjoying the day. I know you have worked closely with us for quite some time now, and just wanted to acknowledge you for spending some time.
Yeah,
that was
thank you.
That was fun.
I appreciate the time and the opportunity to show this off.
Absolutely. And I do want to thank all of the people that have come and spent some time with us this afternoon. I know it's quite short, but we're glad to have you here. And just to let you know, LinkFixer Advanced is the name of our software. You can find us at www.linktech.com. LinkTek, find and fix broken links and millions of files quickly and easily and automatically.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. LinkTek provides protection when it comes to your data migration and your links during migrations. Boy, if I could say that correctly, that might be something great.
Well, fast 3 times.
So much for queuing, right? Okay, cool. So thank you once again for joining us today. And Aaron and Oscar, we appreciate your feedback as well. And
Thanks,
I wish everyone
Thanks,
a
everybody.
great day.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.